somewhere in northern Pakistan on a cold early morning of January 11, 2020. Army informer Ehsanullah Ehsan gestures towards a house sheltering a few militants.
Nobody move!
The squadron leader of the successful Pakistani platoon flashes a victorious smile. But it fades when he realizes that Ehsan is nowhere to be seen.
Go find him. He should not escape.
But they were too late. A month later, TV channels broadcast an audio clip by Ehsan.
Even after 3 years, the Pakistani army failed to fulfill their promises. So I escaped. I will reveal more in a few days.
Prisoners escaping from jails is not big news. But Ehsan was no ordinary prisoner. He was the prime accused in the 2014 Peshawar Army public school attack, in which 134 school children and 15 staff members were killed. Then in an Easter gathering in Lahore later the same year, he exploded a bomb that killed at least 75 people and injured 300 more. And though he was involved in numerous other militant attacks, he is most notoriously famous for an attack on a school bus.
October 9, 2012, around 10 am in Mingora town of Swat Valley, Pakistan.
A mini truck turned bus is taking a few schoolgirls back home after their exams.
Who is Malala?
The girls all turned to look at Malala. The entry wound of the bullet was above her left brow. From there it had travelled down through her neck and lodged in her back. Shazia Ramzan and Kainat Riaz, between whom Malala was sitting, were also shot in their arm and shoulder, but not so severely. It took several surgeries and 9 months for Malala to regain her strength. A defiant Ehsan came later on TV, shamelessly claiming credit for the dastardly attack.
We have shot her. If she survives, we would shoot her again till she dies.
At that time, Ehsanullah Ehsan was the spokesperson of Taliban of Pakistan, but he joined a more radical Jamaat-ul Ahrar in 2014. These were the years when Pakistan was fighting the same Mujahideens who were being watered by the Pakistani army, and were now being thrown into jails in an effort to prove their friendship with the US in its fight against terrorism.
See, we have arrested so many militants.
Under pressure and with a bounty on his head, Ehsanullah Ehsan, real name Liaquat Ali, entered into a deal with the ISI and the Pakistani army.
I give you terrorists, you give me security. Deal?
He surrendered with his wife and son to the Pakistani army somewhere along Afghanistan's border, who used his surrender as an excuse to polish their image.
Pakistan's biggest enemies are now realizing the error of their ways and are turning themselves in.
Soon after his surrender, a Pakistani TV channel was allowed to interview Ehsan, where he made several false claims.
Pakistani Taliban gets funds from India's research and analysis wing. He also made an allegation against Kulbhushan Jadhav. I have watertight evidence against that Indian spy.
But he failed to provide any evidence of his claims. Being a high-profile prisoner, Ehsan was not kept in jail, but lived with his family in a comfortable house in Hayatabad, Peshawar, calling relatives and friends as he pleased, surfing the internet, and even fathering a child. But till this date, no charge sheet was filed against him. In return for these privileges, Ehsan kept giving information on several high-ranking Tehreek-e-Taliban TTP members like Qari Safiullah Mahsood and Sheikh Khalid Haqqani, senior members of the TTP who were later assassinated in Afghanistan. So why did he run now? Did Ehsan realize that after milking him dry, the ISI never intended to fulfill any of their promises and would have ultimately killed him? And would have reneged on the promise that after he had revealed all the information known to him, he would be given money and safe passage to some Middle Eastern country. But he must have sensed something, because on January 1st, 2020,
my wife and sons want to visit my in-laws for the new year.
It is believed that he instead sent them to Turkey, where he later joined them, though some claim he is holed up in Afghanistan. Pakistan tried to bribe him back.
Come back, brother. Tell me how much money you want. It is not the money. I just don't trust you anymore.
Ehsan is a shrewd man. He must have realized that after the US-Taliban treaty is signed and America leaves Afghanistan, the same Taliban whom he ratted on would come back for him, and Taliban's friend Pakistan would never protect him. The hunter has become the hunted. Bisbo's limerick. How can they let go the guy who shot Malala Yousafzai? A criminal to the core. He was given benefits galore. Now he's on the run. Good riddance. Goodbye.